Hello there, Big Benedict here. We're playing God of War 1 on God difficulty, and this is my guide and walkthrough. We're currently on part 8, Athens Town Square, and first thing we're going to do is focus on our parries once we get this key. In God of War 1, parrying is known as Hades' Revenge, and Hades' Revenge also stands for the 3 riposts that are available to you in this game. Those being the square, the triangle, and the R1 for different riposts. So to parry, you must first be in Hades reverse or parry pose, which basically means that you tap the L1 button right before an enemy lands his attack, and then after that you choose one of the 3 riposts to suit the occasion or just to suit your whim. The thing about the good thing about this parry is that it does not reward anybody who tries to just spam the block button, because you have to be quite accurate, and additionally, after you do the parry, there's a certain amount of time that must elapse before you press the button. So when you press L1 to counter, wait a fraction of a second and then press the button. Don't press the button simultaneously with the L1 button tap, and don't take too long, and don't go too quickly. It's just one of those things where you're going to have to go to a room like this and just practice the riposts, and they all have different properties. The square riposte does a swipe that hits outward. The triangle does a slam in the same vein as the TTT move, and then with the R1 you've got a shoulder charge. And again, so how do you get to to be a competent counter attacker on this game? Well, you've just got to, like I said, just go to a room like this and just practice. So so an enemy is going to attack you. Right before he lands his attack, just tap L1 and then wait a fraction of a second, and then press one of the 3 riposte buttons. Now, I say fraction of a second, and it's hard to really say how long exactly you have to wait for it, but if you go to a room like this and you just practice, you will learn the timing, and it's a really fantastic parry system. And the reason I say it doesn't reward spammers is because a spammer could just simply hold down the block button and just spam a riposte button all day, and reap the rewards when he doesn't deserve them. But with this system, I like this system because it does require a certain degree of practice. Practice makes perfect, and once you get the hang of it, you really will start to get comfortable with it. But that's what it is. It's parrying is also in this game. For some reason, they just call the parry system Hades' Revenge, and I hope that helps you. Now, what parry do I prefer? I kind of like them all, quite honestly. But these guys with the shield, the tutorial should have said something like, you need to break their shields with the SST move. You can also use TTT. Also, since we're at level 3, I have picked up an unwanted move just by the necessity of having to upgrade to level 3. Anytime you see me do the Cyclone of Chaos, which is L1 plus square, know that that's an accident, because I don't really hate that move. I mean, it looks nice, but it leaves you so vulnerable, and you have Kratos is just out of your hands at that point. So anyway, if you jump down here, there's an optional fight with some Gorgons, and it's a pretty small room too. And again, you've just got to really remember how fast these. I mean, if you take your eye off these guys for 1 second, you're going to be bound for trouble. I really do hope that helps, because the parry system varies from God of War to God of War. In God of War 2, it was actually just one parry, one riposte. God of War 3 had two ripostes. I don't know the PSP versions off the top of my head now. And then Ascension had that that sort of a, it looked like a little shield that were reflected off you and you didn't, and it was something that would stun enemies. But I really love parrying. I love the riposte system. And one thing that I don't like, though, is when a parry takes so much negligible damage that it's actually not in your best interests to parry and riposte. That's when I really start to feel sad about a game, when I'm dealing absolutely no damage. I'm not asking to deal all of the damage in the world, mind you. All I want to do is just deal enough damage to make it worthwhile. For the parry to make sense and to be worthwhile. Take care.